Okay, that's recording. I've got my notes. I'm ready to go. Hello friends. For the past few months, I've been obsessed with this emergence of the Metaverse, specifically in Web3, using technology like blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, all that fun stuff. And that's why I've created this channel, Meta Paperclip. The end goal of this channel is to take a real world paperclip, this exact paperclip, turn it into a digital paperclip in the Metaverse, and then trade it until I get my own house in the Metaverse. Obviously, there's a lot to that project. What does that actually look like? And that's what this channel is going to explore over however long it takes. We're going to look at new Metaverse projects. We're going to look at NFTs, explore how they work. But to do all of that, you need to have a basic understanding of how the blockchain works. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We'll have a look at the blockchain. We'll have a little explore on the blockchain. And we'll have a look at some examples of how NFTs are integrating with this new Metaverse Web3 infrastructure that's being built. And today we're specifically going to be looking at the Ethereum network. There are many networks out there, but they all kind of operate and function pretty much in the same way. So you'll be able to take anything that you learn from this video about setting up in the Metaverse and apply it to any other network that you may be interested in if you're looking at something other than Ethereum. But Ethereum is definitely the most popular right now, so it's the best place to start. And the most basic thing you need to understand about the blockchain is it's just a very complicated ledger. The blockchain is just a public source of information that is kept track of. So you have addresses, you have assets, contracts stored on the blockchain, and the blockchain just keeps track of where assets are being moved to, what's on addresses, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, it's completely open and public. You can scan it. So here is a website called etherscan.io, and this is an Ethereum blockchain explorer. This holds all the information within the blockchain. This holds every single address on the blockchain, every single asset created on Ethereum, any cryptocurrency created on Ethereum is all stored within this blockchain, and we can browse it via this explorer. But before we start browsing and having a look, we need to set up an address. All right, let's create our own address or claim our own address on the Ethereum blockchain. And to do that, you're going to need a wallet. Today, we're going to be using MetaMask Chrome extension. Now, wallets come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. You can download apps on your phone. You can visit websites. You can download apps on your computer. But the main thing to bear in mind is nothing is actually stored within that wallet. Everything is stored on the blockchain, and the wallet gives you the access to it. So if I download an Ethereum wallet on here and say I have $1 million worth of Ethereum stored on that wallet, and I lose my phone, it gets stolen, I haven't lost all that cryptocurrency. It can be recovered at any point. All I need to do is re-download that wallet, enter in my secure phrase, and it will give me access to that again. So let's have a look at that in practice. Go ahead and download and install MetaMask Chrome extension. There are other options available. We're going to be using MetaMask because it's definitely the most popular right now. And again, if you're on a network that's different to Ethereum, you're not going to use MetaMask. You'll use a wallet specific to that network. So go ahead, add that to Chrome, and we'll start getting it set up. So here's the secret recovery phrase for this new account that we're setting up. I haven't revealed it yet. So this is what I was talking about. This is the single most important information that you can get. If you lose your device, if you lose whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you have this secret recovery phrase, you will always be able to get to your assets. But also if you give this phrase to anyone else, they will also be able to get to your assets. All right, and there we go. Now with that all set up, you have your brand new wallet and your address on the Ethereum blockchain. Here it is in the middle. If we copy that to clipboard and pop that into our Ethereum Explorer, here is your address on the blockchain. As you can see, not a lot happening here. It's a brand new address with 0 transactions. So let me open up a wallet that I've been using for a while, so we actually have something that we can look at and explore with. I've just added it into MetaMask as a separate wallet here. And here it is. You can see there's a bit of Ethereum stored on here, some other assets. Let's take a closer look in the Explorer. So again, we just copy the address from MetaMask, pop that here. And here you go. Here is all the information about that address. Every transaction that's ever been made, any assets that are stored on here. So we can see there's currently 1.5 Ethereum, the USD amount. Here's every transaction that I've ever made. And in the token drop-down list, we can see at a glance some of the NFTs that I've got here. So there's Clone X, there's an Ethereum name service that I've got. And we're going to take a closer look at this one. This is the Australian Open Art Ball NFT. As part of the Australian Open tennis tournament, they released a series of 6,776 NFTs. And this is the one that I bought. So let's have a look. This is the transaction. So here's the transaction from when I bought my NFT, all recorded and stored on the blockchain. transaction number. We can see it was a success, which is good because it's not always a success, which we'll talk about in a later video. The exact date and time of the transaction. We can see here what was happening. So I minted an Australian Open art ball to this address, and it was 1 token, ID number 5992. And a little lower down the page, we can also see the price. So here the value of it was 0.067, roughly $170. But I also paid 0.05 Ethereum in fees, around $130 in fees. So, you know, it almost cost as much just in fees as the actual NFT, which is a big problem with NFTs, especially on the Ethereum. You have high fees, but that's a whole separate video that we'll talk about. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So here is the transaction recorded on the blockchain. And as we already saw on my address before, if I just go back to my actual address, we can see recorded on the blockchain is this Australian art ball, all right? But what does that actually mean? What can I actually do with this information? So let's have a look. For that, we need to head over to the Australian Art Ball website. And as you'll see in top left, I can connect MetaMask. And this is a big difference between Web 3 and Web 2. So currently, if you want to go visit a website, you have to create an account with them directly with your email address, name, password, whatever to log in. Whereas in Web 3, I don't need login information. I don't need a password. I don't need an email address. All I need to do is connect it to my wallet. And by connecting it to MetaMask, I'm proving that I'm the owner of that wallet. And that's all it needs because all the information is stored on that address. So if we go ahead and click connect MetaMask, MetaMask is going to pop up. It's going to ask which account do I want to link to. So obviously we're going to go to the one with the art ball on it, hit next, click connect, and boom, that's it. I've now logged into the Australian Open website. You can see it's connected to my address. And all I've done is give it read access to my address. All I'm saying is, hey, here's my address. You have permission to read what's on that address. And it's going to look at that. It's going to go, oh, cool, this guy has an art ball. So when I go explore, it's going to use that information from the blockchain and display it on this virtual court. Cool, so this is the match points section of this Australian Open NFT. And the way it works is they've created this virtual court and split the court into 6,776 blocks. Every single NFT that someone owns represents a block on this grid. If I move my mouse over it, you'll see every time I move my mouse, it's highlighting a new ball that represents that block on the grid. And we can see the coordinates here. It says X19, and if I go a long one, X20, X21. So here's mine on the court. X42, Y17. And the way this works is your NFT updates if a match point bounces in your spot. So here in the bottom left, if I hit match points, it's going to load up every single match point recorded from the Australian Open tournament so far. And the tournament's still running. This updates every single day. They get the data from the Australian Open officials. It's verified and then uploaded into the NFTs. So if your NFT is in one of these winning blocks, your NFT actually gets updated. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner of this art ball, there's a little sticker to say that was on a winning block. And then the metadata from that winning shot is recorded on the NFT as well. We can see this one's had 1 win so far. It was in a round match by Stuza and Ebden. So that's one feature of this NFT project that I've joined, but there's a few more things with this project that we can take a look at. But to do that, we're going to have to jump into an actual metaverse. So welcome to Decentraland, probably the biggest and most popular metaverse online at the moment. This is a massive open world where anyone can buy a parcel of land and build on whatever they want on it. So there's heaps of fun games and cool things to go explore in here. You've got NFT art galleries and all sorts. So let's get started. And similar to the website before, to log in, I don't need an email address or password. I just need to connect it to my wallet. So straight away, it's going to load up MetaMask on the right here. We're going to connect it to my Ledger wallet again. Hit connect. That's now going to connect and load us into Decentraland. All right, so here is my avatar within Decentraland. We're currently in the Australian Open section of Decentraland because that was all part of this NFT project. They basically recreated Melbourne Park in the metaverse. So if I click M on my keypad, here's the actual map of Decentraland. So we're over here in this section. You can see the exact X and Y coordinates. And every single one of these little blocks is a parcel of land that can be purchased. And this thing is absolutely huge. You could spend hours exploring here. So I highly recommend, once you've got your MetaMask wallet, head over to Decentraland, create your avatar and go exploring. On the Explore tab, there's always stuff going on in here. Heaps of events that you can play, little games, So, in the Australian Open land, I'm here every morning because there's daily challenges to complete and you get a little collectible for everyone that you do. You'll also notice my avatar is wearing some sick Australian Open merch. And this is something that I got for free as part of my project. It's what's known as an airdrop. So on the blockchain, any address that has an Australian Open token recorded to its address is eligible for free airdrops as the tournament's going on. So if we jump into my inventory here and we go to collectibles, these are additional items of clothing that I've got for Decentraland via other projects. So here you'll see I've got a few Australian Open ones that were just given to me for free. One day I woke up, logged into my wallet, and there was a new NFT there. And it's these wearables that my character can wear. I've also got a bunch of these wearables for this poker game in Decentraland. So there's poker lounges in Decentraland where you have to own one of these NFT items of clothing to actually play poker. So I have a few of those as well. But the Australian Open's still going, so I'm going to continue rocking my Australian Open merch. But again, I don't have to do anything. It's just reading that all from the blockchain because these are assets that are stored on my address. With any asset on your address on the blockchain, you're free to do whatever you want with it. If you want to transfer it to a different address or sell it to another address, you can do that. And we're going to look at how you do that via another very popular website called OpenSea. So OpenSea is essentially another front end to the blockchain that allows the facilitating of trades, buying and selling of assets through the blockchain. So if we open up MetaMask in the top right here, and let's copy my address and pop that into OpenSea, it's going to show you my profile. This is really no different than looking my address on Etherscan, except it's a bit more pretty to look at, right? Instead of just looking at lines of text that say, yes, this person owns token whatever, here, token 5992, here's an actual visual representation of that on the blockchain. None of this information is stored with OpenSea. It's literally just reading it from the blockchain. And if we go down into the details section here, you can actually see the specific information, much like we were looking on Etherscan. There's an address and a token number and some more bits and bobs to do with that token. But what OpenSea lets me do is if I verify that I'm the owner of the address, it's going to allow me to put a listing up on their website for sale and facilitate the sale all through the blockchain. So for example, let's first of all connect my wallet. So if we go up to top right profile, just the same as Decentraland and the Australian Open website, we just connect it to MetaMask. MetaMask will then pop up and ask us to sign that away. And there we go. MetaMask notification, connect it to my Ledger wallet, connect. Boom. So now we're looking at my profile just the same as we were before, but now OpenSea knows that I'm the owner of this address. So anytime I look at an asset that is on that address, let's just stick with the Australian Open art ball. Now I actually have the option to sell it. So if I go to sell, I can set the amount to whatever I want. Let's say 500 Ethereum, which is currently about $1.2 million. I can go complete the listing, approve this item for sale, and now it's come up in my MetaMask to confirm I want to sell it. So OpenSea can't verify that transaction. I need to confirm it via MetaMask. As soon as I hit confirm, this item will then be available for sale. And all someone needs to come and do is say, yep, accept, pay 500 Ethereum, and OpenSea will facilitate that trade. All happens instantly because it's through the blockchain. All you need to do is the blockchain just to process that transaction, record, yeah, we're taking Ethereum from that account, token from that account, swapping them over, and then that will be a transaction recorded on the blockchain. In fact, we can look at some of my previous activity. If we go to the activity tab, here's some offers that I've made on some other NFTs that are yet to go through. But let's look at something that I actually purchased. Look, here's something called a Meta Crew that I purchased. So if we click on that, it'll take us to the item. And at the bottom, we can see the entire history of this item. So we can see Doug NFT World minted it 2 months ago. He tried to sell it for a while, but didn't have any bites until I made an offer. Oh no, I ended up purchasing it. He listed it for 0.1, we can see, and then I ended up purchasing it for 0.1 17 days ago. So let's have a look at that transaction on Etherscan. If we head back to my address on Etherscan and we go to 17 days ago, 23 minutes, 0.1 Ether, click on that transaction ID, and there you go, you can see sale of one NFT for 0.1 Ether on OpenSea. So OpenSea have facilitated the trade. They've organized a transfer of a Meta Crew from this wallet to that wallet. and it was one token number 5583. We can see the price that I paid at the bottom, 0.1, as well as a fee of around $53. All recorded on the blockchain. And that's what I recommend you do next. Start exploring this stuff. The more that you interact with blockchain and Web3 services, the more that you'll start to understand it and really see its value. It's so difficult for me to explain this stuff when I'm like in the pub with my friends. Everyone's always super interested in NFTs and what I'm doing with them. But when I start spewing out all this random language and trying to explain this new technology that, you know, is brand new technology, it can be very hard to fathom because it's never existed before. So hopefully this video has made that a little bit clearer and you now have the foundations you need to start sort of exploring the blockchain. Go start browsing OpenSea. There's heaps of fun stuff you can do on here. You can look at some crazy money people are spending. If you click on something like a Bored Ape Yacht Club, right, which you may have heard of, it's probably the most popular NFT collection in existence right now. There are 10,000 single NFTs, these little apes, owned by 6,000 different people, and you can start browsing them. Some of the prices people have been paying for these are mad. If we organize these listings by highest last sale, we can look. Someone spent 769 Ethereum on this Bored Ape. And if we scroll down here, we can actually have a look a bit more about that. So Jimmy minted this 9 months ago, and Jimmy then sold it to Matchy Big Brother for 42 Ethereum 7 months ago. And then 4 months ago, Matchy sold it for 769 Ethereum to IP Collector, which is an insane amount of money. And you can have a look. We can have a look at this transaction. I think if we open that up, it's going to take us directly to the Etherscan transaction ID, date and time. We can have a closer look at these addresses as well. Like, who's this guy that spent 769 Ethereum, IP Collector? If we go to his account and copy his address, pop that into Etherscan. Here we go, his address. So he's only got 2 Ethereum on there, $5,000 worth. But he's got over 124 different tokens, different NFTs and all sorts stored on this address. You can waste hours browsing this stuff. And like I said, the more you do, the more you'll learn and the more you'll understand. Next on this channel, we're going to take the next step in creating a meta paperclip. All right, what does that actually look like? How do I turn a real world paperclip into a digital one and mint it onto the blockchain? So that's what we're going to look at next. I hope this has been helpful. If you've got any questions, hit me up on social media. I'm at MetaPaperclip on everything. And this should be a really exciting journey ahead. I'd really appreciate if you subscribe and join me as we try to turn this paperclip into a house in the metaverse. But until then, bye friends.